Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be giving you my Gemini October 2019 horoscope forecast, part 2 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as October goes, Mars will be in Virgo from the 1st until the 4th. So the 4th house will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there could be certain situations with the family, people you're close to home with maybe a little bit more contentious and acrimonious than usual. There may be arguments with them about employment, diet, health, just being overly particular about things, a lot of criticism, and really this could also be a time too for you Gemini. If you're unattached, you may connect with a Virgo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Virgo characteristics. It could be for a sexual liaison. It might be someone you feel close to home with, or someone you may ultimately have for the that latter or end part of your life. Now, also too, another way this may manifest, this could also be about really putting a lot of energy into extrapolating where you want to be at that latter or end part of your life. You might also be perhaps angry at maybe some Virgo qualities you feel you may have at the core, such as maybe being overly persnickety or fastidious, being overly particular or judgmental or critical, being overly punctilious with details, as some examples now. Anyway, well, and it could also be a lot of industrious energy putting into perhaps home renovation or remodeling and doing things around the home, organizing things in your home if it is disheveled. Now, next thing up, as far as October goes, Mars will be in Libra from the 4th until the 31st, so the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, a situation with lovers and children may be a little bit more contentious and acrimonious than usual. It could be a situation where you might be dealing with a lot of passive-aggressive type behavior with them, and it could also be a time too for you. If you're unattached at this time, Gemini, you may connect with a Libra Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Libra traits, and it may be for maybe a superficial connection, a sexual liaison, but it might be a superficial one, or someone that could be a very strong romantic connection at this time. And also, too, this could be about putting a lot of energy and vitality into Libra-type sports or things of amusement. It could be like tennis or gymnastics, because Libra is, of course, connected with balance, or even playing a game like Jenga. Anything that could be Libra-related. Jenga, of course, can be about balance, or even playing like some law board games like Law and Order, if they do have that. But those are some ways that this may manifest at this time, and it could be about situations where you may have certain confrontations at this time it could be with children, with lovers, and also energy with a lot of perhaps balanced energy into investments, and at this time as well, if you are somebody that is an investor, dispersing money evenly into various investments. So anyway, next thing up, Jupiter will be in Sagittarius still, so the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. As I've talked about in previous videos, Jupiter could be rather paradoxical. It could be very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have the tendency to enlarge and expand. Now, in some cases, this may enlarge or expand rather foolhardy, reckless, self-righteous, over-optimistic, over-exuberant behavior with a significant other, or it could be a grandmother even. It could also be in your dealings with 7th house people and being over, it might be your attitudes toward legal situations, or even dealing with open adversaries at this time. Now, on a positive end, this could be very fortuitous for the expansion of relationships, and even just bringing very upbeat, optimistic energy into relationship and partnership matters, being that incorrigible optimist, even in forms of competition at this time, if you are involved in them. It could also be a time to be very auspicious for Sagittarius, like partnerships. It could be business partnerships, such as something with sports or the law or any advertising, publishing, anything Sagittarius related. And it could also be an opportune time for marriage for some of you out there, for Gemini, if you are unattached. So those are some ways that this could manifest at this time. Now, next thing I want to talk about is Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, this could manifest in a multitude of ways. Some of you Geminis might be experiencing some diminished libido at this time. Could also be a time, too, where you may be having to take care of a sickly or debilitated sexual partner, someone you're in an intimate relationship with. It could be someone, it could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints and hamstrings, and maybe making you feel somewhat despondent and melancholy. It could also be a time too where you may be having to take more responsibility on matters connected with loans or insurance or tax related matters at this time. This could also be a time too where you may be having maybe diminished or depleted moral, emotional, or monetary support. When I was having this transit in my chart, it seemed like there was like nobody there for me at that particular time, especially in the moral and really that emotional support at this time. So it could be a negative period as far as that goes, but at the same time, on a positive end, Gemini, this could also manifest in getting structure and discipline in matters connected with shared resources, matters with the sexual partner, or just matters with sex in general at this time. It could be a time too where it could be older people might figure more prominently in a major change or transformation, or even at this time too, and sadly in some cases this could be about the actual death. I mean, a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but I'm going to anyway. This could be about the actual literal death of an older person that you may be dealing at this time. It could be like a grandmother, a grandfather, or it could be or even a father at this time in some cases, and it could be a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Capricorn characteristics. If I'm not mistaken, I had a transit like this one time hit back in like 1988, and I believe in this was something where I had Saturn transiting my 8th house, and it was at that time I had my great grandfather had passed away, and I had to identify a body at this time. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Uranus will be in Taurus still, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this is another transit that can manifest in a multitude of ways. This could be about a time where you might be dealing with maybe some unusual intuitive capacity or capability at this time. It could be about dealing, could be about hidden adversaries that might be Uranus related, such as astrologers, astronomers, even people in rocket science, people in electronics or computers. And you might be dealing with a lot of could be a lot of instability in your private life at this time, Gemini. Now, another way this can manifest, though, is that sometimes this could be about just general idiosyncratic behavior, might be misconstrued in some cases as a mental illness. And it could also be about really that kind of behavior could be oneself undoing at this time as well. And if it could be a period too where if you have any innovative ideas, you might be kind of keeping it very private at this time as well. And you may also be showing a lot of humanitarianism and selflessness in terms of helping those that are less fortunate than yourself, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, or the homeless at this time. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, this could be about, in some cases, doing something Neptune related as far as a career interest may go, so just something with the metaphysical, which includes astrology. It could be something with photography or chemistry. something with pharmaceutical work, working with illusions such as being a magician, and also even poetry or dancing at this time. Now, at the same time, this could also manifest in the dominant parent, which is often the father, people in positions of authority, supervisors, superiors, even people prominent in your career may be more nebulous and unclear, more so than usual. Could also be at this time as well. It could be about the dissipation, dissolving of 10th house people in your life at this point in time. Hold on a moment, people. Now, at the same time, too, this could also be about idealism and trying to attain success, reaching that pinnacle of success in your life and improving your stature in life at this time. But sadly, this could also be about the dissolving or dissipation of one's public image or reputation at this time. And a lot of this, of course, could be predicated and dependent upon aspects that are made at points in your chart at this time. If it's got a lot of adverse aspects, it could be where you might feel like your reputation, public image is actually diminishing. An adverse aspect, your natal Mars might indicate that it's being shattered. You might feel like it's being shattered at this time. But at the same, but anyway, next, last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time too, Gemini, this could be, a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but I'm going to anyway. This could be about the actual or literal death of someone you're in a sexual or intimate relationship with. Could also be a time too where you where you feel at this time as well. It could be about, now in some cases, this could be about doing something where your moral, emotional, monetary support may be obliterated at this time, or it could also be about gaining power in shared resources situations and also avoid power struggles at this time with a sexual partner, someone you're in an intimate relationship with. Now, a positive end, it could also be about the eradicating or obliterating some kind of debt or some issue with taxes or insurance at this time as well. So there are some good things as far as this goes. It could also be a good period for transformation, since you're talking about Pluto, the planet connected with it, and you're talking about the 8th house is about transformation. It could be one that's a very deep one at this time as well for you. So, and also having the power and ability to do this at this time. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.